Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to P Cloud. We're back with Girls Reverse after a very long time. We haven't done a proper reaction video since the intro song, which that was an interesting time, wasn't it? We watched the video and then they announced the show would be suspended until they got the rights they needed to actually do the show. And then we got the show like a month later. Ooh, interesting times. But I've quite liked the show. I will be honest. Like, I know there's a couple of survival shows that are going on right now. I think Boys Planet and Peak Time are like the two, right? And look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of survival shows, especially shows like Boys Planet and like Produce. It's just I don't like the fact that they're using the hopeful dreams and aspirations of like innocent trainees just to fill the coffers of like TV executives. Because Boys Planet, Produce 48, Girls Planet 999, it doesn't really matter the show it is, especially if it's an Mnet survival show. The trainees aren't going to have a fair shot at it. It's just kind of a given at this point, and I know people have accepted that and still watch it anyways. Like, all the power to them. I'm not saying they're not allowed to watch it. It's just it's not worth my time to watch the show when I know that there are talented trainees within the show that just aren't fairly getting the chance that they deserve to because of Mnet production and things like that. I suffered through Produce 48 once, and I'm never doing it again. In fact, that's like my brain has like tucked that away into the far corners of my mind. But with Girls Reverse, you don't kind of feel that in a way. Like, this show is so scuffed in so many ways that it's like kind of embracing the fact that it's scuffed. I mean, heck, it's 30 idols from like the K-pop industry trying to like navigate their way through VR chat and VR headsets, and kind of like it's almost like a parody survival show in a way, but like it's a genuinely serious survival show, and there's something so charming about it. Admittedly, I've kind of fallen behind on it. It's just every episode is just so long, and I just don't have the time to associate to like the show in of itself. But nonetheless, the shows kept going. Started with 30 idols. We're down to the final 10. This is the final round of the competition. I think we were at 16 or something like that. And now into the semifinals, and now the final round of eliminations is out. We have the final 10, much like it was with, all the Mnet survival shows. We have the final lineup going into the final show, and then we've got the final lineup. It's kind of like the debuting virtual group in a way. It's 5 members. So half of the group that's in the finale are going to debut, for those of you who don't know. The members that are left. Oh, let me preface by saying this. Spoiler alert. If you haven't figured it out already. Massive spoiler alert. Also, I know everyone, like, the whole point of the show was that every, like, personality, or, like, every V idol is being played by an actual idol, and it's like, kind of like a persona in a way that they're putting on. But they all may have stage names, and I'm gonna list off all the stage names right now, thanks to a massive thread in the Luna subreddit. But this will be kind of like the one and only time I refer to them by their stage name, because, well, it's kind of been a really terribly kept secret just who these idols are. And like, essentially, even before the first week dropped, like, just with the solo like teaser trailers that they dropped before the show started, everyone knew who was who. So I'm just going to refer to them by their idol names because it helps me keep names together. So, the final 10 right now, we have Sorite, we have Muno, we have Ruby, we have Rien, we have Jipsunhui, we have Rozu, we have Sera, we have Kuang, we have Kim Serena, and we have Zaru. 10 members, 10 V idols. Now, for the casual, or for the people who just didn't watch the show or didn't really follow it too closely, let me rename those people for you in the same order. Apex Hayoung, Kodumbi, Purple Kiss is Swan, Luna's Heejin, Cherry Bullet's Bora, Rocket Punch is Jui, Weekly is Monday, Uju Sonya's Luda and Subin, and Bandit's Sunya. That's your final 10 right now. And final round, we got final MVs. So the premise of the final round, 10 members would be broken up into two groups of 5, Time versus Destiny, hence, the title, Time versus Destiny. And they would perform a song where the song's like title was and concept was around those two words, time and destiny. So we have 2 proper animated MVs. It's not like the VR chat stuff that they've been doing up until this point. It's very similar to what they did with the opening with Promise? Yaksuke? I forgot what the song was called now. Oh dear. Okay. But we have 2 songs. Unfortunately, they're all in Korean. There are no subtitles. But we do have Papago, so I'm going to try my best attempt at trying to pronounce these Korean titles. So, Team Time is performing the song 날 태우고 너에게 데려가, or directly translated to pick me up and take me to you. And Team Destiny is performing the song 운명처럼, like fate. Those are the direct translations. I don't know what the English translations are going to be. These songs haven't dropped on streaming services yet. I think they drop next week on Melon Music first. But we've got 2 5-member girl groups performing 2 animated MVs, and we're going to check them out today. So we're going to start with loading Circle of Death. We're going to start with group Time first, and their song 날 태우고 너에게 데려가. So the members, that's Gibson Hui, Gaon, oh boy, Rien, Kim Serena, and Muno. Okay. Apologies, my Hangul is terrible, and I'm also referencing essentially a college level dissertation length Reddit post. So, for simplicity's sake, we are listening to Umbi, we are listening to Heejin, we are listening to Bora, we are listening to Luda, and we are listening to Subin for the first song. So, here we go. Getting kind of J-pop vibes in a way. The Would You Sing the Girls back to back. Ooh. Bora's voice surprisingly stands out in this. I thought they fit really well together, but Bora's voice kind of just sparkles in this group. Heejin high note. Oh. Umbi and Luda back to back, and the final line of the chorus. Oh my goodness. Bora's voice is really pretty. There's Heejin's naturally lower tone. Umbi's a little bit. Surprised how cutesy Umbi's voice comes across in this, just in comparison to everyone else in the group. That is classic Umbi though. Yes, get your moment to shine, Luda. Bora! Oh my goodness. Just the confidence Bora has in her high tone is nuts. Four steps! Four-step chromatic ascent in the scale? Oh, and a little fake rising piano at the end there. Hey, I quite like that. That's very J-poppy, and I like that. I think the J-pop sound fits this like virtual idol aesthetic better than K-pop does personally. I just kind of like associate the like V idol or like the VTuber kind of scene more with Japanese like pop culture than I do with Korean. I don't know, does that come across as like, is that racist? Is that stereotyping in a way? Ooh, that's not a good look if it is. Oh boy. But anyways, I think for me personally, I think this J-pop slash like J-pop rock sound is really cool for this. And their voices are surprisingly fitting for each other. Like, the thing with like the members involved in Time Group is that they all have very unique voices and that you can kind of like pick them apart without even looking at. If you know the members and their voices, you can tell who's who, not even like looking at the video. And I think that's the cool thing about this group is that they're all so easily identifiable. Interesting that the two groupmates got put together as well, but everyone has such a unique voice, but they all mesh together really well. Like, they go one after another, and they fit really well together. And, like, certain members get their moments to shine, and when they have it, they really take it, and they shine on it. Like, Cherry Bullet's Bora on this? Oh my goodness. Bora kind of pops on this, and I love it. I didn't realize her voice was like... I don't follow Cherry Bullet all that close. I got to see them at MIK in London last year, and that was tremendous fun. I found out a lot more about their music back then. Like, up until that point, I knew Love in Space, and that was it. Because they dropped, I think, the same day as Rocket Punch's Chiquita, or something like that. And just that entire, like, week, we had really good, like, retro synthy stuff. And unfortunately, we didn't get, like, much, if anything, from Cherry Bullet since then. So, like, their upcoming comeback is tremendously exciting because I know more about Cherry Bullets and their artists, strangely enough, through this because there was another member who recently got eliminated out of the show from Cherry Bullet as well. I forget her name because she was on Produce 48 as well. Oh my goodness, I forgot her name. But she was in the final 20 for Produce 48 and fortunately didn't make it and then didn't make the final lineup in this one as well. But anyways, back to this song though. Give me that Bora high note again, please. I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? I guess we'll just let the bridge play out again. But, like, back to the voices, every member covers a different point, whether it's, like, vocal power or range. Jesus Christ, Bora, that's actually nuts. There's so much power behind that high note, and it's so impressive. Like, that's so much power behind such a high note. And, like, that is a belt. That is a proper belt. It's such a nice note. Give it to me again. Okay. Okay. That was a lot of fun. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. So this one, 운명처럼, with the members, that's Rose, that's Ruby, that is Sorite, that is, I think that is Sera, and that is Zaru. So, in order, we've got Rocket Punch's Judy, we've got Purple Kiss's Swan, we've got A-Pink's Hyung, we've got Weekly's Monday, and we've got former Bandit Sungyeon. I'm still hurt from the Bandit disbandment. Can you tell? Anyways, their song. I don't think this has captions. Yeah. Okay. So, Destiny Team with 운명처럼. What do you got?
아름다워져 쏟아지는 별처럼 하루하루
This group, I think I'm gonna struggle a little bit more to identify voices just because there are voices that I don't recognize as easily. I like the vocal harmonies in this one. Hyung is absolutely owning the lower registers in this song, though. Like the floating chorus section. Interestingly, Swan doesn't sound too much like Swan in this. Never mind, there it is. And there's Monday's powerful vocals kicking in. Yeah, Hyung's like airy lower voice is really cool in this lineup. Let's go Judy. There's the Monday I know. Oh, now this one's interesting. This one is really interesting. I think What this song does that 날 태우고 너에게 데려가 doesn't do, or more like it can't do, is all down to the member lineups and specifically the voices behind it. Swan and Monday together on like the power vocals is a joke. Like that is not fair. That is so much vocal power. Like Monday is stupid powerful on vocals. I think the best example I can think of off the top of my head is the It's Alive cover of Strawberry Moon that they did. Like that Weekly did as a group. And Monday had this absolutely ridiculous belt in the final chorus. It's just stupid good. And then Swan. Do we really need to talk about Swan? Like, she genuinely might be one of the most talented vocalists in 4th gen, and that's not putting it lightly. Like, the amount of talent in the vocal department for 4th gen is ridiculous. I still think Swan is, like, up there as one of the best. Her voice is so special. Her range is tremendous. Her tone is so unique. And you get her going with like powerful vocals unmatchable by few. Interestingly, I think once you get into the realm of like power vocal and like power belting territory, I think Monday and Swan are pretty close up there. It's very interesting. And then you pair that with Hyung from A-Pink. Her voice is like your complete opposite of Monday and Swan's like powerful singing voice. She has this really distinctive like huskiness in her voice that's, you know, distinctively lower than everyone else in the group, and she holds down the lower tones so well, and she adds so much character to the rest of the lineup with her like super like, Heejin in Time Group has a low voice that's really recognizable, but that's nothing compared to Hyung's low voice, in especially in the lineup that this group has. Her voice is so needed on this. Then, if we're talking about range, we go one step up. Bandit Sunghoon has that really nice lower tone that's like doesn't have the huskiness of Hyung, but doesn't have like the high range of your Mondays and your Swans in a way. In fact, Swan could sing in that lower range as well. They just put her in that high belting position, and I think Sungin is such a good fill for that, like holding down the middle of the track voice in a way. It's her voice is super solid. It's super clean. Her delivery is super clean as well, and just like she holds down that middle section of the range so well. And same with Judy in a way. Like I feel like Judy just in general with like Rocket Punch just doesn't get too much time to shine on, especially title tracks and things like that. That may be a biased opinion considering she's my bias in the group, but that's besides the point. Like Judy's voice is like what happens when you take the airiness of Hyung and when you take the range of Sunghyun and Swan and you put them together. So it's like you have your power vocals and then you have your soft vocals. Judy and Sunghyun are like right in the middle. Judy leaning towards the like softer side and then Sunghyun leaning a little bit more on like the power side. Both of them are like very clean voices in a way, but they like sit right in the middle between the rest of the group, and I think that's so cool because again, they cover the range so well across the board. And they have like the key moments within the song, like with Time Group, Bora's high note, Heejin's 4-step high note, a like little ascent she did in the final chorus. With this, Swan, Monday, it's the same thing. They both have really hard-hitting killing points, and they've got really solid middle sections within both their songs. I do want to listen to Monday pop off again though, so...
쏟아지는 별처럼 눈부시게 빛나던 그대와 나 눈을 감고 느껴봐요 영원히 빠진 이 노래 꿈결처럼 운명처럼
Ooh. See what I mean? Especially once you get Hyung on the main part of the chorus and then you have Monday just popping off in the background. It's that soft, lower tone pairing off with just the ridiculous high belt that Monday has. It's a perfect match. And that makes it so much harder to try and figure out which song I like more. Because they both serve such different purposes, they're both such different sounds. If we're going along the lines of just like kind of like really taking to heart this like kind of animated, almost like intergalactic like fantasy concept, I'm kind of running with it. Say you make that into, oh, actually, you know what? Let's transition over to the final screen and talk. We've been going for a very long time, so apologies. I don't know how to timestamp on P-Cloud, if it's possible. If it is, we'll figure it out some way. But final thoughts for time and the 날 태우고 너에게 데려가. It's, I think it suits the concept of like that intergalactic fantasy thing, like the steam train flying off into space is very reminiscent of Galaxy Express 999, Galaxy Express 999, iconic Japanese manga and anime from way back in the day. That is, Galaxy Express 999 is like 40 years old now, I think. Galaxy Express 999 is a 1979 manga series. Oh, the film was released in 1990 or 79. When did the manga 1977 to 81? So we're talking stuff that was almost 45 years ago now. But it's still kind of the same concept of like, you know, steam train going through space has kind of got that like fantasy intergalactic sense to it. And Time Group's song fits that so perfectly. It genuinely does feel like an anime OST in a way. With Destiny Group though, I don't know how to like describe Destiny Group's song other than it just sounds like a really well put together like pop rock song in a way. Like there is really no medium that it's restricted to. Like it has the freedom to do anything it wants. I think that's so cool. Especially like the rock, more like rock heavy tone in 운명처럼, and then Monday's high notes, and Swan's high notes, and Hyung's low notes. Like I think in terms of the like assignment and the deliverables that it was being poised with, in that like the MV like and the song being like like one singular product, I think Time Group gets it because like for me it just feels like a song that fits the bill of like an intergalactic space train better, mainly because I have like the reference material from Galaxy Express 999 and that music. But as a standalone song itself, I think I might lean more towards 운명처럼. Which makes choosing a favorite extremely difficult because I think, if I'm correct in thinking, only one of these groups can win. And I think it's going to come down to it being a popularity contest, which all kind of figured it would be. And in terms of like members who are involved, Time Group has more of my biases. 'Cause it has Umbi, who's kind of like my old solo bias at the moment. Heejin, who's been my bias wrecker in Luna since God knows when. Luda, who at one point was pretty much my old girl group bias, full stop. But on the other hand, you have Judy, who is my Rocket Punch bias. And you have Monday, who's my weekly bias wrecker. And then you have Sungyun, who's just backstory I'm extremely attached with, was Bandit. It's like, I couldn't even pick if it was a. Like, I can't pick based off music, I can't pick based on the popularity contest aspect of it. Like, I'm so screwed. What I do know, though, is this show has produced so many moments where it's essentially just idols allowing to be as unhinged as they want to be. And this show is such a meme, and I love it. I adore it. I'm so glad that Kakao decided to run with this. Because nothing like this has ever been done before. And it's the amount of content that's just come out of this. Like, there's so many artists to follow, and there's so many like backstories. If you know the like people behind the artists, there's so many stories here and there, just like little cheeky interactions between group mates or just like industry friends, new friendships that have been made, just the cheesiest of rivalry stuff like that that you would never get in a real life show. And because they're doing it using personas or like alter egos, and they're doing it through VR, they're allowed to just have almost little to like no filter. And that is the entire charm of the show, is that they're free to do whatever they want and create a character however they'd like and just run with it. And that creative freedom you would never get in the real world. So even though Girls Reverse is coming to an end and we are going to see in one last round of eliminations before the final lineup, the entire adventure has just been an entire ride and a half. If you haven't kept up with the series and you want to, I highly recommend it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before that's been produced by like a K-pop idol or a group of K-pop idols. And like unironically, I will be coming back and watching this show again. But that's it for me today. No end card title thing because this is, the usual thing where we can't host it on YouTube. So I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it might be over on the YouTubes. And yeah, keep up to date, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.